I know. Do you need your jacket?
I have.
Is this yours?
Yeah, yeah, mine.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. It is cold. It's like 70 degrees.
No. All right. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Hello.
No, I don't think it's on.
Hello, hello.
Clear?
Hello there.
It is the power floor.
Oh, that's nice.
Have you been in there?
No.
Me neither.
Maybe after this we could do that.
Check it out. Has anyone been in there?
I'm in there right now, I think, right?
You went in there. It's great.
I might have to share that one.
It's not working now?
It was. Maybe it'll come sideways again.
There's been a lot of this lately.
Mercury.
Hello, hello. Oh, that one's working. Okay, maybe this. Maybe I have it close enough. Hello, hello. Hello. Okay, now once more. Okay. Hold on to your eardrums. Oh. All right. Hello. It says zero on this. Don't touch it. Hello, 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 no. Hello. Hello there. Okay, we might have to share this. So this is the wonders of, this is the unglamorous part of the glamorous part of being a bookseller. So if you saw me earlier, I'm Jeff with East End Books and I want to welcome you here. I mean, I brought the chairs out. I got my clippers out and was clipping the weeds out here and hauling the speaker out and everything, but it's it's a labor of love and we love to do it. And we're really thrilled to have you here today on what turned out to be fantastic weather. People who are watching the live stream, but more importantly, the ones that will be watching afterwards, the recording on our YouTube channel. You'll see that the backdrop is the beautiful waterfront public park that's finally opened that the town put. And I think it's just stunning. The restroom, which you'll hear it soon, is one of the few public bathrooms on the East End. So we strongly supported having that happen. And otherwise, just the library and Pam Art Museum. The other thing that I think is really amazing about this for people planning a trip and thinking about it. So maybe it's family week, and so people are in strollers, or you're in a wheelchair. Or have a cane. What's really great and thoughtful what the town did is you notice that the pavement is kind of like this down here. In other words, you're not like some beaches on sand and pebbles that you're getting caught. You can get all the way out there to the handicap access to get to the beach. So I think that's an achievement that they did. It cost them extra money to do it, but I think it was well worth it. So the book, Liz Collins' book, and all of Eileen's books are inside. So I'm hoping that they both will sign some books afterwards. And Liz will, and I'm hoping I can convince Eileen to stick a little bit to sign some books. Oh, great. And so every title's available there of their books. And then I just wanted to, and we'll have extra copies on every book that remains. I would ask Liz to sign. And Eileen, and I have maybe, I think, 5 copies of Liz's last book that I was able to get back in from, I don't remember how many years ago that was when we had
2020.
2020, wow. So we've got that one as well. Our next upcoming event is offsite, and it's August 5th, and that's with 20 Summers at their new space Stanley, which is in the Schoolhouse Gallery. It's the former Goa Gallery, and that will feature Eileen Myles and Cole Barash, and we really won't be able to, adequately show you, but this is enough here that this is the incredible book, A Walk on Cape Cod, that's handmade, that features Eileen's prose and Cole's art in there, and this is already the last remaining copies that the publisher has are going to an event in Austin with Cole. And so the ones we have here are the last remaining ones. And just absolutely amazing. And every bit of the detail, including the bag, which has Eileen's words on there as well. It's just very thoughtful, amazing. So that's August 5th. You get tickets on 20 Summers website. So if you Google 20 Summers, Provincetown, you can get a ticket. I think there's still some tickets available, but I think they're pretty close to being sold out. So if you get a chance to go there. And then you can see on our website all of our upcoming events. The only thing I wanted to mention is if you're going to be in town or you're here on August 15th, I'm co-chairing with Neil Jacobs an event at the Commons. And this is an event to benefit the Boston-based Theater Offensive. I'm chairing their capital campaign. We're building a new theater in the Fenway. And this is theater, they've been around for quite a while and they perform all over, and it's for everyone, but it's providing and emphasizing providing opportunities for Black and brown, queer and trans playwrights. And the new executive director will be there at at the Commons, and there'll be food and entertainment. So I hope you'll come and meet them. If you can't attend that, there'll be information available at that event about the final event we're doing this year, which is December 7th at the Quinn, the private club in Boston that Ken Falk is the creative director of. In the newest restaurant he designed, Lunasol, which is like being in Sao Paulo. We're doing an event. I'm co-chairing with Christy Cashman, the author and actress there. So anyway, it's a great cause. All of the money, 100% of the money goes to the Theater Offensive, and you can find out more information on our website about them. So now, maybe I can, yes, give this to somebody, thank you. I just had to bring it out just to show people that book. Absolutely, yeah, look at it. So, okay, Liz, well, these are two people that I absolutely adore. And I did say two people I absolutely adore. And as Liz alluded, we had an event in 2020 with Liz. And it was a virtual event because of everything going on. And then, of course, Liz has been in the store a bunch of times. And Eileen, we had an event, that was a long time ago too, but that was in person at the store. And then we had a fabulous party at Mark Levin's big house up the street on the water. And that was really fantastic. And just really great people. I was lucky enough to, a couple of years back, even take a class at Fine Arts Work Center with Eileen, which was just fantastic. So, what do we have here? This book. We have a fantastic, Motherlode is absolutely amazing, stunning as you would expect from somebody as accomplished as Liz Collins. What are they saying about this? Briefly, they're calling this Queer Feminism, Fine Art and Fashion, the Fascinating Dynamic Textile World of Liz Collins. This is a groundbreaking volume that positions Liz as a singular figure who not only synthesizes fine art, craft and fashion and textile design, but also fiercely advocates for queer and feminist politics. This book complements the first major survey of Liz's work in an American museum. So then, Liz's bio. On our website, there's a more extensive, because she does so much, it's amazing, but just brief bio. Liz is a New York City-based artist specializing in textiles. Her work has been exhibited widely, including at the 2024 Venice Biennale, and, God, I'm horrible at pronunciation, let's just say Museu d'Arte de Sao Paulo, okay, and MoMA. Liz Collins' Motherlode is a mid-career survey at RISD Museum in Providence, Rhode Island. It runs from July 19th of this year through January 11th, 2026, and is accompanied by a monograph published by Hirmer. Collins is represented by Candice Madey, thank you, in New York City. And then, Eileen Myles. They came to New York from Boston in 1974 to be a poet. And some. Their books include A Working Life, Pathetic Literature, For Now, which is an essay and a talk about writing, Evolution, Afterglow, Love Afterglow, a dog memoir, I Must Be Living Twice, New and Selected Poems, and of course, Chelsea Girls. The Trip, their Super 8 puppet road film, can be seen on YouTube. You must take a look at that. if you haven't seen it already. Eileen has received the Guggenheim Fellowship and was recently elected a member of the American Academy of Arts and Letters. They live in New York and Marfa, Texas. Without further ado, I hand to you these two amazing people, Liz and Eileen.
Thanks everyone for coming. It's so nice to see you all. Familiar faces, new faces. Thanks Eileen for doing this with me.
So glad to be here.
Should we just keep
So glad to be here.
Should I try it again?
You can try. Hope springs eternal.
Hello?
Oh, you had a feeling.
It works when it wants to. It's no.
Well,
I think
I'll just talk loud.
we need to share, unfortunately. If you want to maybe just use, if you could. Yeah, for the live stream and for the
Okay.
for this toilet.
Hi. So Eileen is a dear friend of mine. We've known each other for years. I think we've gotten to know each other more being out here. I have a bunch of friends who live in New York who I see here way more than in New York. I had the great fortune of being at McDowell in January with Eileen. Remember?
We're on a trail. It's very weird. We keep, like last summer we both did residencies here, and we're like neighbors. And then we found ourselves in McDowell again. We keep being on the exact same road and the same timing, which is really fun and exciting. But I think we've known each other. I think we've known each other probably since the aughts, because maybe when you were in your fashion period. I mean, Liz's career is kind of wide and with all sorts of twists and turns, though always material.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think, isn't that true that I think maybe you invited me to do something to do with the clothes that you made way, way, way back?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's right. That was an amazing project. So this was kind of towards the end of my fashion days, which was, I think, 2022, 23. I did a project called Wonder Women, which was, I had this photographer friend shoot several artists, creative people I thought of as Wonder Women at the time. Because I had done this collection that was inspired by Wonder Woman, which I got in trouble with, cease and desist. I got that later from was it Warner Brothers, Marvel? Yeah, Pete knows. Anyway, so Eileen was one of my Wonder people, and I remember I came to your apartment with a sweater, and you weren't very excited about putting it on, which was fine. And so there was this incredible portrait of you. It was in a magazine called Anthem, one of the many, print pop culture magazines that's now defunct. But there was an incredible kind of spread of you. Did you ever see it? Yeah. So you don't really see the sweater, but it's a beautiful portrait of you.
So you did clothes for a while.
I did.
In fact, you started with clothes. And you're wearing clothes right now, I noticed.
I did. It's frustrating. Sorry. I've been an artist all my life, so some people think like, oh, you started with the fashion career, but I've been making things since I was a child and was serious about art as a young person. And so my first kind of visible career period was in fashion. Yeah. Do we want to keep talking?
Seats here and over there.
About that, or about, you want to get over to the book quick?
Well,
I think let's get there. Yeah, forget fashion.
because we could talk for a long time.
Yeah. So why don't you show me the direction you'd like to go in? Because I was thinking in very general, dumb terms, like you're an artist, and let me ask you that right away. So you're an artist and you've done all kinds of art, and what do you feel like about being an artist today? What comes to mind most pressingly?
I keep asking myself as an artist, how to respond to this time other than on an intuitive level, because, you know, my art is quite intuitive. Like, I kind of follow what I'm feeling, I mean, there are prompts, external prompts like commissions or exhibitions and invitations to do things, but left to my own devices, I'm just kind of responding to my mood, what I'm obsessed with. But externally, you know, because there have been so many powerful moments of artists doing activism in very strong ways. I mean, I think of the AIDS crisis as, you know, such a huge reference. Other times where communication through art has been so powerful. Like, I still, you know, when I drive on the Merritt Parkway, I'm always looking at those WPA bridges, and I think a lot about the WPA. Like, what can we have now? Like, we're not. I feel frustrated. Like, as an artist in a time that is so extreme, full of crisis, and you know, this fascist state, etc. I feel like there's something that I want to mobilize around, but it's hard to kind of pull together the pieces to mobilize. I think in the time of internet, in the time of social media, I think it's proving to be somehow an obstacle.
And yet I feel like that's why every time we're like this, you know, any time that we're in a group collectively that just happens to be spurred by the fact of art, I feel like we're doing something in that we're exercising this fact of our own collective presence, and just, you know, literally, you know, like, how are you feeling? What are you doing? What are you thinking? How you know, how endangered do you feel today? How safe do you feel today? What can we do? I mean, one of the beautiful things that you did in the past that was, I mean, it was so exciting to me when craft became hot in the art world, and you were part of something called Knitting Nation, and you would do activism in which people would just come together, because, you know, crafts were always that, occasions for people, often female people, to talk, you know, and share information, and that you've been at the front line of that kind of thing. But this is just the fact of us, I think, is important tonight, just because in a way, I remember going once to a really very tragic funeral years ago, and the rabbi who was directing it just said, "Well, this is what we know to do, which is to come together, you know, and to keep figuring out what we can do with this, and you know."
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I'm a huge proponent of gathering, and that is what we have control over, right? I can create spaces for people to gather. I can instigate those kinds of things. I mean, I instigated this event because I wanted to connect with people here, like you all. I wanted to do this, and with you, it felt like important. So thank you for acknowledging that. I mean, it's not to be taken for granted, these moments where everybody takes time to show up. You know, showing up is like so important. I want to talk briefly about the book, just to mention how it came together. So the book is a result of this project I also instigated with the RISD Museum, which is in Providence, Rhode Island, and I have a long history with this institution, both with the school. I'm a two-time alumna. And with the museum, I was also faculty in the textile program for 10 years. So I have like a long history with this institution, or these two institutions that are interconnected. And I wanted to do a retrospective because I had done this show in England that sort of turned into a retrospective because it was COVID, and the site-specific work I wanted to do in this show I couldn't do because of travel. And so I ended up bringing a dear friend and curator, dear friend of mine and curator, Julia Bryan-Wilson, to curate this exhibition. And she was like, "Why, you have so much work, let's mine your archive versus, you know, generating a bunch of new stuff in this time of crisis." So on the heels of that, I really wanted to make a publication that documented my years of work. And then I thought, oh, the RISD Museum does publications. Maybe they would want to do the show and the book. And so that was over 3 years ago. And this whole project unfolded in this really complex and layered and beautiful way, with the book kind of being the first thing because of deadlines and whatnot. And it was a tremendous project and something I was very happy to do, but very challenged about, because I've never made a book before. And I didn't have to make this book, but I didn't know a lot of the rules, because the last book that I did was with the Tang Museum that Jeff has in the store, and they did everything and didn't really invite me into the process after a point, which was great, but it was, I didn't know anything about distribution, and I mean, it's a complicated industry, as I've learned. Anyway, so I embarked on this book with the museum, and I thought, yes, I want to have these critical contributions by the curator, Kate Irvin, by Julia Bryan-Wilson, who ended up interviewing me for the book. And then Glenn Adamson does a great essay. He's a prominent design, craft, art historian, curator, and he did an essay about my relationship to industry and the projects I do with the textile industry, and how I use the industry as a kind of bridge to fabricate my artwork. And then I thought I wanted to have 3 kind of more creative pieces, and I've been following Eileen's work, multi-dimensional work of art writing, of memoir, novel, poetry, I mean, Inferno was really a huge book for me, and Cool for You. Yeah, I really got hooked on those books. And I thought, maybe Eileen would want to write something, because they had done this, at Amp Gallery. I had, hi Debbie, I had several shows with Amp, and I had this show where I had mostly needle points. And Eileen, after the opening, was on, I think you were doing a reading, and I saw it on YouTube or Instagram. Eileen was like, Liz Collins's weavings are amazing. Yeah, and you started talking about my work, and I was like, okay, Eileen's a fan of my work. This is exciting. That was a big deal. It's a big deal for you, when you're a fan of somebody and then they're a fan of you. And so that was the moment I thought, I remembered that moment and asked Eileen to write for me. And so, do you want to say anything else before I ask you to read the thing you wrote?
I guess weaving just has always, I love what you do, and weaving has always struck me as really exciting. All of the stuff that you do, because so much of it is really bodily, and the way you put the work on other people's bodies, and you get other people to participate in you've taught people, Julia, you taught her to knit. Which is such an amazing thing to do with a writer and a curator. But also weaving, I think weaving has this long history of really the first socialists, the first guilds, the first were weavers, and we're talking Middle Ages, and revolutions. They'd all so much. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy that it's always had this weird, and I think it's just like textuality, right? There's as a conversation, and I think the digits and the elements and the design of any piece of weaving just seems like language to me, and that's very exciting. And also, when I like a writer, when I like an artist's work, it's really fun. Like in my workshop today, we were talking about translation, and part of that too is like putting somebody else's text inside of your body and producing something else out of it, and I think that when I write about an artist, it's always kind of like, how do you have to viscerally enter their world and kind of put it into your body and kind of come back out with it. It's sort of like there's something very performative about it. And I did feel like, I've liked your work a lot. Have collected it, and you've also gifted me a piece. But when I went to your studio and looked, it was really fun and really kind of, I guess I'll say, I say it in the piece that I wrote, but it was extremely trippy and transformative,
Thank you.
So seeing a lot at once was a lot more than just seeing a show. And that's why the book is really great. Can I just say, why do you call it Motherlode?
Yeah. I'm flattered by your description of my studio and your experience of embodiment. Thank you. I call it Motherlode because I was kind of racking my brains about what is the title of this show, and I thought about kind of on multi-levels what this was about for me. Like talking about the source. I mean, one of the things that Motherlode alludes to is being a source. Like, usually when a word pops into my mind for a title or for any kind of thing where the word becomes important, I Google it and look at the definition. And when I Googled Motherlode and looked at the definition, because I had a memory of it being like, you know, like in some kind of vernacular, like the Motherlode, it's like everything, you know? I don't know why I'm using that voice. It's everything, like the Motherlode, like the source of, you know, where you go there and find like everything, right? So I thought of like this institution, you know, these two partner institutions, in some ways being like a huge source of my work, because I studied there, I taught there, and the museum had some very important shows that I saw early on that really impacted me, like this Japanese textile designer Junichi Arai. I saw that show before I was majoring in textiles, and I realized, oh, this is the person behind Issey Miyake's amazing clothing. He didn't do the Pleats project, but that's another conversation. But, you know, to go to have a show at this place that is the source, you know, or was a source for me, but then also thinking about the work, like a retrospective and showing kind of the core sources of everything. I think that's where it came from, and it's a mining term also that is about this kind of vein of rich material that is like the special stuff that you want. And I like that idea. Yeah.
And also, what does it mean when a patriarchal society uses such a word as motherlode? You know? And you know, I feel like we can't say patriarchy enough in terms of what, you know, I mean, it's sort of like, it's always like this extra heavy word, but it's also the thing that's there that you can't say. And yet I feel like all the difficulties we have all have to do with the fact that no matter what changes, left or right, it's always the patriarchy is like the tent pole that holds up the whole culture, and it's the thing that never gets pulled down, you know? So to decentralize that with the title of your book and your work, and to even allude to the way it's embedded in cultures, is really important.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Want to
So,
read?
sure, yeah.
Here.
You're going to find my page, thank you.
Well, I marked it.
Oh, good, oh, good.
See, because there are these beautiful flaps that, you know, I love that kind of, what are these called?
French flaps.
I love French flaps.
Wow, there's a printer, there's a book person there. French flaps.
Yeah. Do you want me to hold it? How
No,
do
I
you
think
wanna do
I can put it on my lap.
it? Okay. All right, ready?
I have a traumatic, the word motherlode is like mildly traumatic for me though. Because yeah, not when my mother died, but close to when she died, she was like, you know, she was in the house I grew up in, and then she moved into senior housing, and then she moved into another level of senior housing. And at some point she just said, maybe you want these. And she just alluded to all my books. Like somehow she didn't take them to the next place. And I was like, okay. And then it was so weird to have this whole box of books that I inscribed to my mother at all these different points in all the little sad things that I said to my mother, you know. And then I didn't know what to do with them, so I put them in a box and I taped it, and then I wrote on the outside Motherlode and stuck it in my storage unit. And I guess now it's like at Yale. It's really funny. I would be happy if they kept them in the box. I think it was very special. But it was the only way that I could get out of the pathetic feeling of like, oh, what do I do with these desperate messages?
Wow.
Anyway.
Unforgettable.
Yeah. Sad thing I wanted to share. So this is called Flower Road Spinning. Suppose you're and I mean really in your house during the pandemic with your kid, and you're the only ones there. The world is so still, and you're watching some show, a whole procession of shows, and you're doing this version of prayer that you've done all your life, embroidering a succession of squares, magenta and deep blue and black and bright red. And they're not so much squares, well they are, but they are filled with rectangles of color and stitches, just filled. What is this thing? It's like a little pot holder with a hot orange trim. Got some gold. It's a very pleasing thing, and you do it over and over, and it's your version of time. I mean, I'm talking to Liz here. Stuffing it with stuff, so time is a very tactile thing, very ancient. And this square of yarn winds up in the hands of a poet, figure 1. It sits on their desk in Texas where they live, and it begins to spin. While it's spinning, the world's going mad. Last night, because of exceptional solar storms, skies in the southern part of the country were filled with color. Northern lights, they say, but I don't think we had it here. I was thinking the sky was a kind of dirty peach, the same color as the courthouse in town, the same color as my embarrassing sneakers. No, my embarrassing sneakers like the inside of a seashell, and the square is turning still. It's a vision. How do you get here, I asked Liz, oh, gold-accented organizer of color and time. Painting made me anxious, they explained. Beads made people judgy. But textile, cloth, weaving, embroidery, this turning square tells me what it wants, like a show you watch again and again. Repetitious and soothing, says Liz. Verifiably, it's an ancient sort of song. You can't tell me any block of color this fiercely organized isn't needing to speak somehow. It's language, though it may be very conceptual. There's no words in this spinning square. Just, quote, organization, texture, math, glow, close quote. That was a quote. It's kind of a marvel. One wall piece I saw, all silvery, made a marvel song. Sometimes like a paean to the corporate thing, which is a lifting of what was once grimy in a kid's hand. Comic books turn. One loves textiles because a mammal. One wants to rub their cheek against the art. Is it art? The word craft says it's made. Hands all over this thing. I had my first big teaching gig in the aughts, and I had to teach a giant fiction lecture. And I had never done it before, and I brought in these transparencies from a show at the Met of medieval tapestries. I figured the students, could see it. Because a woven dog is not like any dog you've seen before, not in a painting, because of the kinds of movement that make his face. He's like a turning dog, a reaching dog, a tactile dog, even though he's still. And kings liked these big cloth paintings because they warmed the walls in their stone castles, and you could move it around. And I argued to the 100 student faces in front of me, it's like a video, it's like TV, that all the columns and permanent writhing plants and swords sewn into this flat, long, unrolled thing were a kind of writing too. Do it like that, I said. And you've probably seen the wide Chinese landscape paintings with one tiny poet pausing silently in an enormous vista with lakes and trees and birds, and a bit of text up there in calligraphy explaining that in hellish times a man wants to flee and stand in nature, and the block of red text up there is a signature. Sometimes it's the collector's name too. We several walked to the white. I do the long way around your work. Okay, good. We several walked to the white shaman paintings last December, figure 2. It's in the lower Pecos Canyonlands in South Texas. You had to climb down teetering piles of rocks with a skinny rope ladder, and my ankles aren't so good. And it's like a green gorge and water down there. You wound up in this peach and dark gray overhanging cave and looked at the figures not unlike the spinning square I have right here of our ancestors with their arms raised in the air. Or antlers, perhaps. They are deer. But these people stomping peyote underfoot are telling us a story about the creation of time. Time is written into this mural, painted on stone, and the stone, because it's tactile and changes in the light, almost makes you want to put your hands all over it. We even liked eating underneath it, like you don't with a painting unless you hate the message and you smear it with paint. I get that, hating the message. But these ancient painters of the mural, the figures we hiked to, inscrutable to our modern eyes at first, but people have dedicated their lives to learning to read these first visual patterns from the Mesoamerican telling of the tale of the birth of the sun and the dawn of time. It's called the Flower Road, a celestial pathway along which the sun, gods, and ancestral beings are all thought to travel, and it's a gift. Somebody gave it to them, to us, somebody human, pilgrims. They walked to it with the deers and the magical beings, peyote. And they became gods because of this journey, and we still walk it again and again. Liz made this giant message, a visionary work with striped suns and darts of light surrounding and fleeing the orbs. It's very ancient, and it's deeply Marvel comic books and everything beyond. Glad it went to Venice. I'm so sad I didn't look up last night and see the rolling, rippling northern lights, but standing with Liz in January, while these vast rainbows clowning around like manic streams of light, there they are, our friends, the old mountains, the good real mountains, like in the Chinese scroll paintings I love so much, where each step is a poem, each stitch, each silent man is you or me needing to escape a world of violence and care. And this exists too, even for everyone suffering so hard right now, losing their lives. Therefore, Liz had to make this enormous and really clear, this abundant wish, so it could be felt, this giant tactile art of hers. It's operatic. First, she showed me these elegant V's, design elements, symbolic mountains. She auditioned for the spot. But no, I want a real mountain range, she said, and got a picture and dropped it in here so these blue and white real mountains could hold and support that enormous visionary sky that has no contract, is no promised land, but because it happened once, it will happen again. I guess until the end of our time, and we woke, everyone, in the morning with torches and lit that first sunrise, and we will do it again, man, hopefully.
It's beautiful to hear you read that. I mean, when it came in and I read it, I just had a little moment of crying because it's so beautiful and just it's multi-dimensional. Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, there's a picture of this. It's like, it was this giant, I mean, the piece that went to Venice was, so how big is it? It's like really, really, really big.
They're two.
And it's so peyote. It's so peyote, you know.
Really?
I think so. I mean, I've done those drugs about 40 years ago, but like life-changing.
Let me see if I can find it. I mean,
But the scale is so crazy.
why isn't it in here?
It is.
Here.
There it is.
Well,
Yeah. It's like,
This is one of two tapestries that I made with a Dutch textile lab. Sorry, I'm not good at holding the book and miking like you are. But I made these two tapestries with this Dutch operation and didn't know at the time that I was making them that I was going to be invited to be in the Venice Biennale. It was a cool kind of serendipitous moment. Oh, okay, there. Anyway, yeah, so it was a diptych, and when you came to my studio, I had one of the prototypes for that, I think. Yeah.
exciting. Yeah.
What do we do now?
I don't know. Maybe people want to ask, is it too soon? How are we doing with time? Maybe people want to ask questions. Do you guys feel that?
or just basking in that incredible reading.
Mm.
We'll just sit in silence.
It's up to
What
you.
time is it?
It's 6:48, so if you can ask questions now, or you can converse
Questions
some
or
more, or
comments?
yeah,
There's
comments.
another book on the table.
A Working Life by Eileen
Oh, that's
Myles.
yeah. Thanks, Liz.
Yeah. This is a great book full of poems. Uh-huh. Read it. Buy it. Right?
Chew it.
Yeah. Can I say something about that essay? I love that the dog makes its way in there. You know, the dog, dog. There are two dogs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's the woven dog and then just dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a motif. It's such an important. They're important beings to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huge.
So I love that it found its way into your essay. Yeah. Do we do this? Should we pass?
If you, or you could or repeat the question.
Okay.
Might be-
Can you talk a little bit about what the homecoming to RISD feels like? It's like you're now your fourth iteration of your RISD life.
Yeah. Can I talk about what the kind of homecoming to RISD is like now that I'm doing something this iteration?
I live in Providence, but no.
Oh, you do? Oh. Yeah, it's incredible, actually, to have been able to do this project. I wouldn't have done this show with another place. I mean, if a museum or something said, Liz, we want to do a retrospective, I'm not going to say no, but I instigated this show very intentionally at this place because it felt like the right time. And I wanted to engage with the students, and there's actually a room in the show that is a show within a show that I worked on with a group of students that's called Homecoming. And they named it that because they were very tuned in to that it was that for me in a sense, and also they wanted to communicate something about queer space and creating queer space for people to come into the museum and have a sense of belonging with this room with a salon style assortment of queer artists hung, you know, against this wallpaper and that I designed. But yeah, it's very meaningful for me and very important for me, and I feel like it's kind of like the last stop in a way. You know, I went there, I worked there, and then I get to come back and have a show there, so it's very nice. Yeah. Do other people have?
You said at the beginning the book project was overwhelming, and I was curious if there was anything particularly delightful or torturous about the process.
The question, or I said that the book project was overwhelming, and so was there anything delightful or torturous about the process? Yeah, both. It was really hard. It was a very challenging project for me, as I mentioned, in that it really came down to the fashion part being a torturous experience because in less than 5 years, I made so much work and there were so many images, like hundreds of images of great garments, like on the runway and off. I mean, that's what having a fashion brand is all about. It's all about the photographs, you know? I mean, it's all about the clothes and people buying and wearing them too, but you know, your primary way of communicating is these images of people in the clothes. You have these fashion shows that are very elaborate affairs, and but they last like 10 minutes. You spend tons of money. There are tons of people working on it. It's over in a flash, but the pictures are gold. And so I had hundreds of these pictures and wanted the curator to deal with it. Because I was so overwhelmed by my own work. I mean, that's another facet of Motherlode, is that there's just so much. Like, I have made a lot of work, and some of the ways that I make work allow me to make a lot of work, but also I just can't stop. I have to do it. And so sorting the images and mining that archive was torturous.
Can I ask you a question right there?
Maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed to me when the book is divided into sections, and when you get to fashion, there's no text. It's just pictures. Right?
Yeah.
Well,
Really interesting.
there's.
I mean, I thought kind of cool. And I thought, why did that happen?
Where is? Yeah. Well, good question. No. So, this is the fashion section starts with this image, which is a lot of this is pre-digital. A lot of this work is pre-digital. That was part of the hard part too, is that it was, everything was like actual photographs on paper that we had to sort through and scan, and I'll just show real quick. And then there are small words here.
Little bitty words.
They're little words saying like what collection is this from?
Oh, hell yeah.
Right? Like, so you can actually have a time frame around it, because that's what people care about. But there aren't the captions that you see in the artwork. So it's like a weird kind of double standard or something, like, oh, how come fashion doesn't have each garment described with the ingredients and the medium and all that? And that was something kind of hard to deal with. But then the accompanying essay that goes with the fashion is by Octavia Bürgel, who is Kara Walker's daughter and grew up around my clothes because Kara used to buy my clothes. And so Octavia writes about them both as kind of like an inheritance, because she has many of them now, but also talks about, my relationship to contemporary fashion and Lil' Kim, and, there were a lot of celebrities who wore my clothes. And so it became, that was a big part of it too, it wasn't only about the images, it was about dressing celebrities. And I really wanted to do that. Like, I wanted special people to wear my special clothes, and they did. Yeah. What else?
I have a question. I don't know how we're going to present it, but thank you both for being here. It's been lovely. You were part of the Venice Biennale, and I'm wondering, must have been overshadowed by the death of Paulo. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing
The curator?
Yeah.
Well, I was in last year's Biennale where the curator was Adriano Pedrosa.
Okay.
So the Biennale that's coming up next year is the curator for that passed away unexpectedly, and now her cohort of colleagues is continuing to curate the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me on that. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Liz.
Liz, I have a picture of your installation in Venice.
Great. That's right, because you went.
Because I went. The question I have is, can you give the dimensions?
Oh yeah, I didn't answer that. They're two pieces, and they're like 10 and a half feet tall by 16 feet long.
You guys can pass this.
They're like, the way that Eileen talks about these king's tapestries and stuff, these pieces are architectural tapestries. Like, they're not paintings. They're not trying to be paintings. They're these big pieces of fabric that aren't made with tapestry technique. They're made with an industrial weaving loom that makes, in essence, contemporary tapestries using digital means. Mm-hmm. You have a question, Jen Lees?
Kind of a comment.
Oh, I love the balcony.
I don't know how many people have seen your show, and I was a little late because we just drove in from Providence. In the traffic. But the show is incredible.
Here, do you want the mic for that? Say it to the masses.
Can we
Do you
pass
want
the
it?
mic?
Yeah.
Because you have such a history at RISD and in Providence, so many people
Closer
there
to your mouth.
who've known you for a very long time, and there was just this very common refrain of people just going like, "Oh my God, did you know that?" I mean, we know you, and we know what you've done, but the show is incredible. And I just was in there the other day looking at the a piece with a lot of circles within circles. It's sort of like a tapestry, and it was like 1991. You made it as a senior or something. It's incredible. I stared at every circle for 5 minutes each. It's just amazing. Anyway, see the show is my point, but also and very quickly, Eileen, you're one of my favorite art writers, and I don't know if everyone knows your art writing and your book, and you know the importance of being Iceland. Incredible collection of art writing. Like you made that when you were 20 years old. Anyway, my question, I guess, is how did you feel seeing all this work? And you said something about like this being kind of an end point. I don't know, what happens now, and what does it make you feel seeing this, 30-something years of work? How does it feel to you? It felt great for everyone, and I'm wondering how it felt for you.
Oh, thank you. Should I take that? So I can stand and respond. It felt amazing, Jen. It's very satisfying. And like it continues, like it's a gift that's going to keep on giving because here we are. This feels beautiful, and I didn't know how it would land, and it was so much work, like the layers of work on everybody's part. At some point, somebody said, "We're all bending over backwards for you, Liz." I mean, and I was like, it's not just for me. It can't just be for me, It's a museum, right? It's for the community. It's for everybody. And so I guess I was rewarded with that experience of the opening and just the ongoing response of people seeing it and posting and writing to me already, that it's doing what it's supposed to. Like it's resonating with people. It's not just them saying like, "Oh, Liz, she made so much work, she's amazing," but also the work is resonating with people in the way that you write about it, and the whatever the transformative nature of art can be to people when you're looking at something. It's doing that. And so I feel very happy about it. Thank you. I'm glad you were there at the opening. It was a special event, right, Debbie?
And Liz is also in the great show at MoMA, Woven Histories, which is incredible, but I think what you're just talking about is the fact that this kind of work is really important to people because people have so many different relationships to fabric and material, and it's a whole different world, a whole different embodiment, in the same way that architecture is an art form that you enter. It's a really big social art form, and I think your work is that too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, architecture is an important idea for my work, and when I was a kid, I wanted to be an architect, as did my grandmother, who I think would have been a lesbian in a different time. A lesbian architect, my dream, partner. By the way, if anyone knows one. Sorry. I want to mention something, though, that we're talking about before someone asks another question, which is there's a whole other dimension to this book and to the show that I felt was essential, which was that we borrowed a ton of work from people. Some of you are in the audience as lenders, because I wanted to continue this kind of practice of revealing the interconnective network of people, the web of people in my life. Even though some of the lenders are corporate collections or people I've never met who, didn't put their name on the work, both in the book and in the exhibition on the wall text, they're people's names. Many of them are my friends, my family, people I admire, so that was something really, did you notice that? Yeah.
I noticed the piece that's, I guess, Julia's. Yeah. That's her name, the vulvas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also early piece.
Yes. Yes. How about one more question?
Yes.
I don't know.
As a visual, tactile artist, I'm sure I hope you feel like your work speaks for itself. And usually when there's writing about painters or tactile artists, it's art critique. So do you think it's important to have art writing to go along to enhance? You put it in the book. What's it like for you to have someone talk about your work, or it doesn't feel like talking about what I did actually. It's like enhancing, illuminating. But what is the writing in conjunction with your work feel like for you as a tactile artist?
Would you be able to re-say that question briefly?
Oh,
did you hear that? Mm-hmm. You heard in the back, you heard the question? Because there's a lot, I don't want to shorten the question.
How do words enhance?
Yeah.
Aren't yours?
Well, I mean, writing in general is something kind of that slays me. I've always been a fan of writers and writing. So you could be a writer too, for the architect, the lesbian writer is also invited to, say hi. I mean, some of the best moments of my career have been reading things that writers have written about my work. And also the writing has been such an essential piece of me understanding what I do. Because I'm a visual person. I'm not a writer. I mean, many of you in this crowd know that, as artists, you still have to kind of be a writer if you want anything. Like if you want money, if you want to communicate in the ways that are required, you have to write. And so when people really write about my work, and they always do it better than me, it's magnificent. It's like one of the biggest rewarding experiences about the work. And when someone really gets it, it makes me very emotional. Like I said that earlier when I read Eileen's piece, and it's very moving to me when someone can see what the work is doing and talks about how it lands for them or what it means in the bigger kind of context. Yeah, it's all those things. Yeah.
There's a question about how long the MoMA show is running.
Oh, the MoMA show, it opened in April and is up until mid-September. And it's a great show. It's curated by Lynn Cook. And it's the first time I've been put in an exhibition with what I consider my creative lineage, like many of them, from Eva Hesse to Sheila Hicks to Sonia Delaney to Sophie Teuber-Arp, Andrea Zattel, all these people, they're all in it.
Okay.
Should we wrap up, or is there one more? Should we tell over now?
And the show at RISD?
The show at RISD opened a couple weeks ago and is up until January 11th. So anybody who's driving south can hit it. And also it's only 2 hours from here. It's a nice little road trip.
I agree.
I just noticed I'm thinking about Palestine.
Yeah. Say something.
No, that's it. That was it. I just always want to bring it into the room while we're here together. It just seems so important.
Yeah. It is interesting about that. We do have inside the store copies of Sarah Schulman's latest book on Gaza that we did an event in our Boston store with Tim McCarthy from Harvard. And that was quite during the nor'easter where it was pouring down rain and people still packed it. And it was really nice to hear their conversation about Palestine, but also Tim's conversation because he's on the litigation committee for Harvard, with the lawsuits that they're coordinating against the fascists in the White House. So that was quite, I was just saying that it's, we had an event with Sarah Schulman at our store in Boston during the nor'easter in May. And Tim McCarthy, who lives here, who's Professor McCarthy, who's on the litigation committee at Harvard that's coordinating I think it's now like 87 lawsuits that are going on. So that was quite an interesting conversation, and I love the fact that your archives and the books you gave your mother at Yale, and then we went to dinner afterwards, Tim and Sarah and myself, and Sarah said that her archives are now have been bought by Harvard, and so I just said to her, I hope you got the check. In advance, and she had, but it's amazing really that we have these luminaries here, art and literature. I just love all these people, and it's just incredible to be here, and I want to just thank everybody for coming here. And I see some people here with the wonderful group Women's Craft. And what is your new group, your new store called? Radiant. You got to go down there and take a look, and that's right where Women's Craft is. And anyway, we thank you for coming. If you want books, they'll be inside, and then they'll be signing out here, and feel free to hang out and have conversations. And of course, tonight is gallery walk, so that's perfect timing for all of this. And again, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Excellent.
Thank you.